Hello guys, you're welcome once more to MEPs. If you're new to the channel, you're highly welcome. Do well to subscribe to the channel and share the link of the channel to someone out there. Alright, so let's get right into today's question. It's on bearing. The question says John was facing south 35 degree east. If he turned 90 degree in the anti-clockwise direction, find his new direction. Now, most students find, when it comes to bearing challenge, so the first question I want to ask is what is bearing? Okay, bearing simply means what? Direction. Okay, and we have two types of bearing. We have the 3-digit bearing, and we also have the compass bearing. Now the compass bearing is also the surveyor's bearing, or what surveyors use. Like if you have seen civil engineers, those constructing roads, you see them what taking bearings, okay? Or even those that are into buildings, okay? But a 3-digit bearing is still what we call the soldier bearing, okay? Those that are in the military, okay, if they find themselves in a certain territory, they also want to do bearing to find their direction, and they use 3 digits. Okay, now let's start with compass bearing. Now for compass bearing, you want to remember what we call news. Okay, what do I mean by news? So news there, I mean the cardinal points. So the cardinal points we have: N is for north, E, okay, is for east, W is for west, so news, okay, and S is for what? South. So let me quickly draw, okay, 3 of these or 4 of these, and let's do some observation. Now for instance, if I draw a line here, okay, and put 20 degree, okay, now bearing, most times when you are finding bearing, you want to start from your what? Clockwise direction, from the north. So bearing, you are always moving this way, which is what? Clockwise direction. Remember, this is anti-clockwise. So for instance, this bearing, okay, this direction is called north. So we have north 20 degree east, okay. Now this is for what we call compass bearing. But if you want to write it in 3 digits, okay, since we move just 20 out of 360, we say 0, 20 degree, okay. So that is for this situation. Now, what about if we have, the movement at this one point? Let's say we're facing this point. We are going to put, let's say, an angle here, let's say 30 degree, okay? Now, for this, how do we write this in our what? Compass there. Now, for the compass there, you don't have to start from the, whether use north or south. So in this case, we are going to start from the south. So say south, we have 30 degree, and we are moving to the what? East, okay? But for the 3-digit bearing, you want to be calculating this length, okay? So let's calculate it. Remember, this is 90 degree, and what is left here is what? 60 degree, because 60 plus 30 will give you another 90 to make a total of 180. So 90 plus 60 degree is what? 150 degree. So this part is the compass bearing, okay, because it has the cardinal points attached to it. And this is 1, 2, 3, 3 digits what? Bearing. Okay. Now we are going to do more two samples, and let's see what that gives us. Now if I have, okay, another one like this, okay, we have our news and E W S, and I have, okay, here, let's come this way, this is the direction. We have this as 40. Okay, here, let's come this way, we have this as 50. Now to quickly represent these two in what? Compass and 3 digits. Now for compass bearing here, we're always starting from the south, coming to the west. So say south, okay, 40 degree, moving to the what? West. Okay, now this is for the compass. What about for the 3 digit? Now for a 3 digit, you want to start from the north and come all the way to touch this. Okay, now this is 90 degree. Okay, this is 90. This is another 90. So we have a total of 180 plus what? 40. 180 plus 40, what would that give us? It's going to give us 220 degrees. So that is the 3 digit. Now, what about this? We are going to move from the north coming to the what? West. Okay, so we have north 50 degree coming to the what? West. That becomes the compass bearing in this case. And for our 3 digits, we want to move all this way down to this point. Okay, so we have 90. Okay, we have 90. We have 90. What about this angle? Remember 50 plus this will give us 90, so this is 40. So we have 90 plus 90 plus 90, which is 270 degrees. And if we add this 40, it's going to give us 310 degrees. So this compass bearing, this is the 3-digit bearing. This compass bearing, this is the 3-digit bearing. Now let's, having understood bearing, now let's use what we have done to solve the question. Right? Now for this question, all we need to do is, okay, I want to, draw this. So John, actually, this is the face of John. Okay, he was facing, let's bring our news. So north, east, west, south. So John was facing what? South. So this is southeast. So it means he was facing here, and we have what? 35 what degree. So this is the southeast. So south 35 degree what? East. So what is this in our 3-digit? So for our 3-digit, remember we have to come all this way. Okay, so this will be our 3-digit. We want to start clockwise from the north. All right. So remember this part is what? 90 degree. Now what about this part? Now this part plus 35 degrees is supposed to give us what? 90 degree. So what can we add to 35 to give us what? 90 degree to get this part? Okay, so simply have 55 what? Degree. So for the 3 digits, 90 plus 55 is going to give us what? 100 and what? 45 degrees. But the question says, okay, why John was facing this direction? Remember, John is facing this direction. He now turned, okay, he turned 90 degrees in the anti-clockwise direction. So it means from this direction, he went what? Anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise means he turned this direction, okay? So this is anti-clockwise, this is clockwise. And he was able to turn at what degree? So it turned somewhere, okay, such that this angle was 90 degrees, okay? Now, so the question says, find his new what direction? So his new direction is his new bearing. So the new bearing for John, while John is facing this direction, which is 90 degrees anti-clockwise, will be this, okay? Will be this angle from this point to this point. So how do we solve for that angle? Okay, now you can see that this part from this point to this point is already 145. Okay, and if from this point back to this point is 90, so all we need to do is we are going to subtract what? 90 degrees from 145. Okay, because from this point to this point is 145, and okay, it turned 90 degree anti-clockwise. So if we come back 90 degree inside of this 145, whatever is left will give us what? The angle at this point. Okay, so if we subtract this, let's see what that gives us. So it's going to give us, okay, we have this as what? Okay, 145 degree minus 90 degree. is going to give us 50.5 degree. Okay, now let's write it in 3 digits, so it's going to be 0, 55 degree. But if we want to write it in compass, form, we are going to start with naught. So we have naught. Okay, remember this is 55, so we are going to put 55 degree, and we are moving to what is. So this gives us the simple solution to this problem. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button. Do well to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to see you guys in my next one. Bye.